What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. I got some big news for you guys in this video. Take a look here. The U.S. government has been hit by a global cyber attack. I'll give you the details here of this. Also, Senate Republicans introduced their own plan to tackle student loan debts. This comes as the Supreme Court decision to forgive $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan forgiveness for up to 45 million Americans is due here any day. Here's what President Biden has to say. Take a listen here.
Some of the same members of Congress who want to cut student aid personally received loans to keep their small businesses afloat during the pandemic. Some of the same members of Congress who supported this bill voted for huge tax cuts for corporations and the wealthy as well. But when it comes to hardworking Americans trying to get ahead, dealing with the student debt relief, that's where they drew the line.
But Senate Republicans are unveiling their own plan to tackle student loan debt as the Supreme Court is set to give us their decision on the $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan debt relief here soon. The Republican plan called Lowering Education Costs and Debt Act. You can let me know your thoughts if you think this is better, worse, or what your thoughts are in the comments. Consists of 5 bills that the Republican senators say will address the root causes of the student debt issues, such as the increasing costs of college and students taking out loans they can't afford. The package was introduced by 5 Republican senators, Bill Cassidy, and the ranking member of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, and Chuck Grassley, John Cornyn, Tommy Tuberville, and Tim Scott. The first 2 bills in the package specifically deal with how colleges give students information before they decide to attend. The College Transparency Act would reform the college data reporting system so students have better information about outcomes at schools before committing to a university. The quote, Understanding the True Cost of College Act will require schools to have a similar style for their financial aid letters with a breakdown of the aid so students can better compare offers. The last 3 bills will deal directly with student loans, including how information is given to borrowers and limiting some borrowing. The quote, Informed Student Borrower Act requires students to be more informed when applying for a loan by acknowledging they received student loan entrance materials or they participated in entrance counseling. The students would receive materials that show how long it would take to pay off their loans, how much the monthly payments would be, and what they will likely make going to a certain school and program. The students would receive this information yearly, which I think is a great idea. The fourth bill addresses the 9 different student loan repayment options the Department of Education offers. These options, with eligibility based on income and loan type, gave borrowers different timeline options for paying off their loans and the amount that they would owe to each month. The bill cuts those repayment options down to 2 to simplify the process. The standard 10-year repayment plan for borrowers would remain, and repay programs would stay with some changes. The repay program gives loan forgiveness earlier to low-income individuals who have low balances on their loans. Additionally, loans cannot be given to undergraduate or graduate programs that have not shown the earning potential is not higher than a high school graduate or bachelor's degree under the bill. The last bill in the package aims to put pressure on graduate schools to lower costs, which I doubt they'll do, which accounts for almost half of student loan debt taken out each year. The legislation would end Graduate Plus loans, which had their borrowing limit removed in 2006. Republicans say this type of loan has increased the cost of college, calling it inflationary. Students still would have other loan options, graduate schools such as Stafford loans, which are offered by the government but have limits on borrowing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think that if the Supreme Court rules against the $10,000 to $20,000 in student loan forgiveness, I think there still could be some legal battles on that. I think a lot of this bill is common sense stuff that should already really be in effect, to be honest. But I think that a lot of people would say that this stuff doesn't even go far enough. So you guys can let me know your thoughts on this. But honestly, a lot of this stuff should already be in place. It's just this stuff is kind of common sense, no brainer stuff. You would think, why don't they already have this stuff already in effect? Because the reality of it is a lot of these students, I mean, they're 18 years old, they're going into college, they're signing student loans, or their parents are signing for them and stuff, and they're signing away tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loans, and they're 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20, and they're just like, hey, let's go in, and they're partying and they're going to college, and they're kind of signing their life away in a way. They're basically buying a house, and some of them don't even graduate, a lot of them, and it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Let's be real here. And they end up paying on it for decades. And it's life changing. It's life changing. So one way or another, reform needs to take place because this is affecting hundreds of millions of Americans. And we see in the statistics, it's more debt than there is credit card debt for student loans for the entire country. There's $1.6 trillion in student loan debt, and there's only about $1 trillion in credit card debt for the whole country. So it's a major problem, and there needs to be reform either way, one way or another. And the US government just got hacked yet again. Wow. Take a look at this. Yeah, as you can see here, several US federal government agencies have been hit in a global cyber attack that exploits a vulnerability in widely used software. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency is providing support to several federal agencies that have experienced intrusions affecting their MOVEit applications. Yeah. Referring to the software impacted, we are working urgently to understand impacts and ensure timely remediation. It was not immediately clear if the hackers responsible for breaching federal agencies were a Russian-speaking ransomware group that has claimed credit for numerous other victims in the hacking campaign. Yikes. They don't even know how many federal agencies have been affected yet. Double yikes. But the news adds to a growing tally of victims of sprawling hacking campaigns that began 2 weeks ago and has hit major U.S. universities and state governments. The hacking spree mounts to pressures on federal officials who have pledged to put a dent in ransomware attacks that have hobbled schools, hospitals, and local governments across the U.S. Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore and the university's renowned health system said in a statement that this week's sensitive personal and financial information, including health billing records, may have also been stolen in the attack. Georgia's statewide university system, 40,000 students of University of Georgia, and dozens of other state colleges and universities confirmed it was also investigating the scope and severity of the hack. A Russian-speaking hacker group known as CLOP last week claimed credit for at least some of the hacks, which have affected employees of the BBC, British Airways, oil giant Shell, and state governments in Minnesota and Illinois, among others. The Russian hackers were the first to exploit the vulnerability, but experts say other groups may now have access to software code to conduct attacks. So once again, Russia consistently being an enemy of the states and the U.S. Once again. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here. If you just seen my video about Russia and Russia government TV, which is, state TV, uh, issuing a nuclear threat to the U.S., saying that it's coming. You should check that out. I'll link you to that video here right now. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel, so I'll keep bringing you guys the truth of what's happening here in our country and around the world. It's completely free to subscribe. This way you won't miss out on any new videos. And thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos. Let me know your thoughts here down below in the comments. Here's some videos you should watch next. The fall of the US dollar has started here in this video. And here is Russia state TV saying that a nuclear bomb is coming to the US. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.